So with that, we're gonna talk about another thing that makes us happy.
Another card we collected.
What's that? What are we doing, Jim?
We're going to talk about the Avengers Mansion.
Also known as the card of the week.
Yes.
Card of the week. Jim, what's the card of the week?
I forgot.
Avengers Mansion.
Yeah, I know. I just said it. Avengers Mansion.
All right, so this is the first Marvel Champions card we're talking about. First of all, if you have not, which you probably have, no, I'm not going to say you probably have. If you have not seen our most recent gameplay video, check it out. Guys, I had a lot of fun making that one. I had a lot of fun making that video, and I hope you enjoyed it. One of the things I'm always asking when it comes to our gameplay videos is, how can I make this better? How can I make this a little bit better for our viewers watching? And kind of how can I make this more fun?
Now I'm just thinking about some troll being like, stop making them. That's how you can make them better. I'm going to go write this.
Yeah, you are. Let's be real. All right, so Avengers Mansion. Avengers Mansion, great card. Avengers Mansion is a 4-cost support. It is an Avenger. Location, it has the text max 1 per player.
Yes.
It has a mental resource on it. And then it has the action, exhaust Avengers Mansion. Choose a player. That player draws a card. Jim, can you tell us why this is a powerful effect?
So I think the part that makes it really powerful is that it's colorless and can be played in every single deck.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to just be you. If you're playing with another person or 2 other people, you can choose one of them to also, or to instead draw the card. So very, very powerful.
So,
and not to mention, card draw is like one of the best things you can do in a card game.
In card games, ever. Absolutely. But in this game in particular, what are cards?
Those are your resources.
Exactly. Like, your cards do the things that you want to do in the game, but they also act as a resource.
Yep.
So the biggest drawback to this card is it costs 4.
Yes.
So what that means is it costs
it's an investment.
Worst case, it costs 5 cards in hand. The card itself, and then 4 other cards.
Yep.
That's worst case scenario. And honestly, guys, if you're going to pay for it like that, don't do it. Not worth it. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know.
All right. If we're saying turn 1, do it.
Do turn 1. Absolutely. Turn 1. Yes. Turn 1.
It really depends on what else you have in your hand.
Correct.
Though. So
correct.
It might not be worth it.
But think about turn 1 over the course of the game. So our last game, okay, it went 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at it today. The game went 10 rounds. So if you drop this turn 1, that draws you 10 cards.
Yes.
10 resources. Absolutely worth it on turn 1.
Yeah.
100%.
Because then at that point, you're essentially netting 6 resources at that point. You pay the 4, or I guess you could also say 5.
Yeah,
so you're netting 5.
So netting 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're up 5 on the entire game. That's
earlier
good.
The better.
Absolutely. I mean, and any resource generator, it's always the earlier the better, right? That's why, like, if you're building or piling a deck, prioritize your resource generators, your card draw, those permanent cards that will gain you the most value over time. Anything that's value generator. I'm just going to call it a value generator because I think in this game in particular, that's kind of how you have to look at it from card draw and resource generation. They're essentially the same effect because it's generating value, right? Because in this game in particular, cards equal resources, so we can kind of view them in the same aspect, right, of value generation. So, but yeah, the biggest downside is that 4 costs. So when I first got into the game, starting to figure out like cost and like how stuff's paid for. Anytime I ever saw 4, I'm like, 4. Oh, that's like all I can do. That's all I can do. It's like all you can do in a turn. Right. So then you have to balance. Okay, what am I gonna be able to do this turn? Okay. Then what's coming? What's the villain gonna be able to do? Am I in hero form? Am I in alter ego form? What am I going to do? Then what's the villain going to do? But also, like you said, the fact that this is a colorless card, it's a basic card, huge. Any hero can run this in their deck, right? So and now, I mean, over the course of a few years that Champions has been out, there's more card effects that do something similar, but this is like the OG for the game because this was in the core set.
Now you can have redundancy at that point,
Yeah,
though.
right. Exactly.
Which is never a bad thing.
Right. Yeah, because this says max 1 per player, right? So you can only have one of these in your deck.
Well, out on play.
No. I think, it's not a unique.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'd want to do that.
Probably not.
You wouldn't want to, but you wouldn't want to have multiple in your deck.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. The only thing is if you wanted to see it sooner than normal. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but then, so...
It's not worth it.
Right. It's not. But also, because what I was just going to say was it's a dead card at that point.
Yeah.
It's not, though. It's not, though.
It's just a science or a tech
it's a mental resource.
It's
a mental resource, right? Yeah. But I'd much rather have a different card in my hand that can do more things than just do one thing.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So, man, the way you think about cards is so different in Marvel Champions than for us any other card game, because we bring everything back to Magic. Yeah. And so everything that I know about card games is informed through Magic. Yeah. So then when you go to a game like Marvel Champions or even Lord of the Rings or Arkham Horror, right, these co-op expandable games, it's so different in thinking about how I evaluate a card, just a card. Like, how do I evaluate it? Yeah. So like the term it's a dead card is not really applicable in Marvel Champions, right? Because you can still use it, because a dead card, like I was just playing Magic the Gathering. If you caught me on stream the other day, I was streaming some Magic Arena, and I played some old decks, and then I went on and I updated some decks. And I can't remember what I was playing, but I'm like, this is a literal dead card in my hand. I literally cannot do anything with this card. Why is it in my hand? I hate it. You know what I mean? But that's never going to be the case in a game like Marvel Champions. Yeah. Like, you may not be able to utilize it for the main thing. Like in this case, if I had another Avengers Mansion, I would not be able to play it, put it on board if I have one already on board. I just have to utilize it as a resource. Although
it would be pretty nice if, say, you like drew into that one into your hand, right? The extra copy that then you already had this one out on board, and the villain
made me sack it, or
made you sack it, or somehow of being like, well, I have this other one in hand, so it's really not that bad. Right. Other than you got to pay 4 mana.
Right, you just got to pay 4 more mana and then basically take a turn off.
Yeah.
Or if you're able to pay for it and then have that split personality card for She-Hulk, flip your form and then draw up to your hand size. Yeah. So play the Avengers Mansion somehow, then do the split personality, which I can't remember if that's an event. It might be an event. I can't remember.
Most likely.
But that was She-Hulk is fun.
She's so good.
She's so good.
And I was also thinking about it, right? The best I've ever been in this game was when I was going aggro.
Yeah.
And normally Dan tends to not really play aggro. So every time that we get into those like longer term games, right? Dan's just always like popping off and setting up his board state. And I'm just like, I guess I punch him in the face for 15 damage.
Yeah.
And it's like, you look at my board and it's super bare, but I'm just like progressing the game. Yeah. And because we talked about, I don't think that video has gone up, but we've discussed it in the past, of the support deck I was playing of
Captain
Marvel.
Okay.
And I didn't feel really good playing that deck.
Okay.
But I had fun playing it. I just don't think I was doing a good job playing the list.
Right. And granted, that was like your first time playing that list.
Yeah.
Right.
And even going into another game, I don't know if I would feel better playing it. Even though I'd be more familiar with the cards, but it was a completely different setup. And even at the end of our game, Dan was like, how much damage did you do? I'm like, like next to nothing, because it was just like, it wasn't that sort of deck. And I also am not used to this style of play.
Right.
So, but every other time I was
like that first time you played Iron Man.
Oh, dude, I was destroying as Iron Man, and
Dude,
then the She-Hulk game.
We need to play Iron Man and Ironheart.
Yes, I don't care which one I play at that time.
Right,
They're
right,
so good.
Right. I would love to build. We'll have to build an Iron Man deck and an Ironheart deck, and then take on something. We'll take on Ultron.
Yeah.
Let's take on Ultron with
like,
Iron Man and
summon
Ironheart.
a bunch of bots, and we're like, F your bots, dude. They're all dead all the time.
All right. Let us know down below if you want to see Iron Man and Ironheart in a future Marvel Champions video.
I'm gonna comment that too.
Or maybe we'll stream that one.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or do both. We'll have a video and stream it. Yeah, that'd be sweet. So. All right, well that's the card of the week for this week. Avengers Mansion. Let us know your thoughts. If you're a Marvel Champions player, do you like Avengers Mansion? Which how can't you? How can you not? I mean, I feel like the only complaint would be it's a 4 cost.
Yeah,
that would probably be the only complaint. Which honestly, anytime there's something that costs 4, I feel like the first question is it worth it?
How good is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Yeah. Like, is it worth the 4? Is it worth the 4 cost? Which, in this case, I think the answer is yes.
If I had a card that was like 4 mana, deals 13 damage, okay, I'm playing it.
Yeah.
All day. I'll have multiple copies in my deck if allowed.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, pitch my entire hand, deal 13 face, attack with my dude, activate effect, restand, attack again. And I'm just like, well, that was 20 damage in a single turn.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to say, every time we talk about Marvel Champions or I see us playing the game, like editing a video, I remember how much I love this game.
Yeah.
I remember this game is a lot of fun, and every single time I play it, it brings me a lot of joy. It makes me happy. It's a fun game, very enjoyable, and if you have never played, you need to. Go check out some of our videos. You can go to our channel. You can find a bunch of videos. Not nearly enough. We're going to be making more Marvel Champions content in the future. Yes. And also, real quick, shout out to Tony Tales. Tony Tales is another content creator. Recently commented on our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which if you haven't, go check that out. Gave us congratulations, but he's a big Marvel Champions content creator. That's all he does content for is around Marvel Champions. He's got a lot of content out about explaining the game, these different archetypes, which yours would be, there is an archetype in the game, it's called Rush. It's like a rush system. Exactly. It's basically aggro.
Sign me up.
It's all about defeating the villain in like 2, 3, 4 turns as quickly as possible before the villain has a chance to do any sort of setup. So if there's heroes like that's 100% your style for this type of game. So go check out Tony Tales. I'll make sure I leave a link to his channel in the description, but I feel remiss because I don't think I've ever mentioned him yet on the channel. So go check his content out as well.